Hi, I'm Matt from Askia's London office. In this video I will demonstrate one of our most recent developments in AskiaAnalyse WordClouds. This functionality, which is an interesting and exciting new way for Analyse users to present the results of open-ended questions, will be available in a future release of the software. Here I have an example CAS file open in Analyse which contains data for 346 respondents. The file has a series of closed or scaled questions and also a set of open-ended questions which are all on the topic of beer. So firstly, let's look at some of the open-ended data we have by selecting Dictionary from the Analysis menu. Immediately you will see that the question I had highlighted on the left appears in the open-ended questions pane, and the dictionary pane shows a list of all of the words that were used in that question, ranked by number of mentions. I can also drag and drop the other open-ended questions I have into this pane, and you will notice that it immediately updates the words used and their counts. Or, if I highlight all of the questions I wish to analyse and choose Dictionary from the Analysis menu, we will see that they all appear in the open-ended questions pane. And again, of course, we can see the count of mentions of any word mentioned, along with a list of the questions that particular word appears in. Now we have selected the open-ended questions we want to analyse, we can look in more detail at the data in these questions and make some adjustments to that data before we create a word cloud. So by clicking on a word, we can see a full list of the respondents who used this word in our open-ended questions and the full comment which contains that word. After reviewing this, we might decide to exclude certain words from our word cloud analysis, and we can do this simply by right-clicking on the word and selecting Exclude and Temporarily. By following this process again for other words, we can temporarily exclude a whole series of words from the analysis, either one by one or by selecting several words at a time that we wish to temporarily exclude. Furthermore, by clicking on the Exclude icon here, we can review the list of words that we have temporarily excluded. But also, we can create a library of words to exclude which is stored in a file and directory as defined. And this can be made to be language specific just by selecting the relevant language from this list here. We can then list the words we wish to exclude by typing them directly into the text file. Then when we save the file, we will see it listed here along with information about the languages selected. We can also drag and drop the temporary exclusions we made into our library of exclusions. Then, once we're happy that the library excludes everything we want to be excluded, we can remove the temporary exclusions and drag our full exclusion library across to the current exclusions pane. For the purposes of this demonstration, I will use one I prepared earlier called beers. Then when I click on OK, all of the words listed in that library will be excluded from the dictionary, and we should see that the words that remain are useful. It is also useful to note that by clicking on any closed question, we're able to apply a subpopulation to the open-ended questions simply by dragging and dropping an answer into here. And we can see it has an immediate effect on the counts. We can also sort the list of words in the dictionary into alphanumeric order rather than counts, or again by counts, or even by the questions each word appears in. Now if we set the subpopulation back to all respondents we can see that if we drag and drop a closed question into this pane here, we can instantly see how many mentions of each word there are, but this time split by the answers from Q1. And again, we can sort this by number of mentions. Another useful feature can be seen when we select the Show Specificities option here. This applies a form of significance testing to each of the answers from Q1, which we can also use to sort the order in which the words are shown, either in ascending or descending order, and, as previously seen, we can click on any word to look at the detail if the results are of particular interest. So let's now look at the word cloud that this data generates based on the default settings. As you can see, the words from our questions appear in various sizes and colours on the word cloud, and these are dictated by the number of mentions and the settings that we have in the default template. If we want to look at the full list of comments that contain any of the words in the cloud, we can click on that word and the details will appear in the window below. So we can see here all mentions of the word we selected along with the full text of the response listed by interview ID. Now, of course, we may decide we don't like the layout or look of this particular word cloud, so we can change this by right-clicking on the output and selecting Template Properties, which gives us this window. Within this window, we are able to define the font type we want to use, which has an immediate effect, as you can see here. And by opening the template window again, we can also change the minimum font size for the smallest words that appear in the word cloud, like so. Or we could change the maximum font size for the biggest words in the word cloud, as shown here. We can also change the selection type used, so the proportional size of the words is calculated based on rank rather than frequency, as shown in this example. Furthermore, we can dictate the width and height within which the word cloud is generated by changing the width or height as demonstrated here. Or we can change the way in which the words are displayed to alphabetical rather than centered, as seen here, or back to centered as it was previously. And we have the option to change the colors used on the word cloud by changing the foreground color, or we can change the hover color, but as yet the background color reference you see here is yet to be developed. We can also dictate the proportion of words displayed vertically in the word cloud by increasing or decreasing this number. And you can see the effect this has on the word cloud. So if I change it to 100%, of course, all of the words will be displayed vertically. Another interesting feature is that we can choose an image onto which we wish to overlay the word cloud, which, depending on the nature of your image and all of the other settings we have been looking at, will have quite a marked effect on the way the word cloud looks. And naturally, of course, you can save your settings for future use. And here is one I previously prepared using a contour image and various settings that reflects how I feel about beer. Well, I hope you enjoyed this brief demonstration of some of this planned functionality. As this is an early preview of what we have developed so far for WordClouds, we would appreciate your comments, questions and particularly suggestions in order to try to ensure that when this is made fully available in a future version of Analyse, we can provide you with a tool that suits your needs. Please get in touch with us about this topic or any other by emailing support@askia.com. Thank you very much for watching.